This week on NintenDomain, we threw out some orbs and try to summon you a good episode about the new Fire Emblem app.
Wait, my phone's on fire? Oh no, Fire Emblem's on my phone.
Fire Emblem's on your phone. What I've got is an empty stamina bar. It's not doing a hell of a lot.
Oh no.
Oh.
Welcome to NintenDomain, episode 55.
Man, you guys are getting up there, huh?
We are. We're
Good for you.
We are your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
Jeremy Birthright Mikowski.
Jeremy Birthright Mikowski. Trey Heroes Johnson. And we have a special guest again, brought back since we did the Fire Emblem episode last time, Colin.
Hey, I heard Fire Emblem, so I came running.
Yeah.
Digitally.
Do you remember what episode you were on last time you were on here?
The number? No, I don't.
I thought about looking at it. It was like I feel like it was very much infant stage of the show.
It was.
It could have even been single digits. I know it was like I think it was around the time I first got an actual microphone to like hook into the computer. I know that. Because when I was first starting to notice like that part of it was getting weird at 40 minutes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Fire Emblem Fates in retrospective?
Yeah.
That was episode 13.
13, wow. And we're at
February 25th of last year.
Wow. And we're at 55 now.
55.
Yeah, it's crazy. How have you been doing on Fire Emblem nowadays? I remember on that episode you were the only one that had played Fates, and I think you're still the only one that's played Fates up to this.
Yeah.
Because even though I have Birthright, I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I played quite a bit more of it. Mostly, like, at that point, I'd mostly just played Birthright, and then I played a bunch of Conquest. And, I don't know, there's a lot of really interesting things in Fire Emblem Fates, but overall, I came away pretty disappointed, to be honest.
Yeah. And you liked Awakening, right? Like, better than that?
Awakening was incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I own every English Fire Emblem interactive media they've released. And, just off of Awakening, I had such high expectations for Fates. And for Fates, they tried to do some stuff with a story that just Fire Emblem's never been especially good at. Like, anytime they try and do something with the antagonists as characters, they just do a really bad job. And Fates leans on the card, and it just kind of falls apart.
Oh, on Corrin? Corrin's the main person from Fates, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, if mostly it's on the Conquest campaign, because, like, the Conquest, you're working for the bad guys, and just, like, no one's motivations in that entire campaign really make any sense, because they're sending you, like, the Emperor keeps trying to send you to your death, even though he's your dad and you're working for him, and it's not really clear why he's doing that, and it just doesn't really make sense why things are happening.
So the dad, like, pissed at you for some reason?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's like, he keeps being like, you know, prove your loyalty, go do this mission, and then like he sends assassins to kill you during the mission, and you do it anyway, and you come back and you're like, Dad, I did it. I took over that territory for you, and he's like, fuck you, and you're like, why? I don't understand.
He's like, you didn't do it quick enough.
Yeah,
like,
I guess.
It's like God told me to kill you, like with Abraham and Isaac.
Oh yeah, see that would have been an angle. That would have been interesting.
From what I heard, it's like what Birthright is like the good way, and Conquest is like going the bad way, and Revelation is like the way that it would actually happen if it was told as a story or whatever. That's what I heard from a different podcast. Did you get it? Did you get to the third one or no?
I started Revelation and saved I made the choice just to see how that would play out, and then I didn't go too much further because I wanted to beat the other two campaigns first, and then I lost enthusiasm for continuing to play.
Did you beat Birthright?
But yeah, I didn't beat Birthrights because I got hung up on one of the the side missions to get to recruit your children. Those scale sort of like Elder Scrolls style.
Oh yeah.
And one of them had scaled to a point where it was I was up against a ton of like tier 2 really powerful like Wyvern riders. and it was basically impossible to get through the first 3 turns without someone dying. Like, I played it every way I could, and they were just these could attack from any angle and one hit kill anyone, and it was kind of kind of unbearable.
That sucks. And there's no way for you to like grind or anything like that. Does it have like a map, kind of like Awakening did, where you could kind of go do side quests and level your dudes up?
It does. But those particular ones where you recruit your children like level to you. So if I went and did some grinding and came back, then the enemies would have gotten stronger too.
Oh,
well,
that sucks.
Had, a 0-sum game.
Oh, that sucks. So like they're the same level as you, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Or, yeah, they scale.
So because most of the time your guys are pretty powerful or overpowered. I don't know. I felt pretty overpowered in Awakening.
Absolutely.
I think that's kind of why I fell out of that one, because it didn't seem as hard as
and
the
Birthright
other ones.
does that a lot too.
Yeah.
Conquest doesn't let you grind, and also just the missions are way harder. They actually do some really cool stuff with like objective design in Conquest, where like they almost never give you a mission that is just like kill all the enemies. It's like kill all the enemies and also protect these 3 villages, or like you can't kill all the enemies because there's an endless army of them and you just have to escape, or like they're burning bridges and you have to get to a place. They do really interesting things with the map design in Conquest, and it's hard as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that was the one that's kind of more like the older Fire Emblem games. Like Conquest is kind of like the first Game Boy Advance one that didn't really have like a map. You kind of just went from like level to level. Mm-hmm. Like I heard it kind of compared to that, which I thought about. I was like, well, maybe I'll like that one better, but I still haven't played any of them. I last time we recorded, I told you that I made a pact to myself that I wouldn't buy another Fire Emblem game unless I beat one of the Fire Emblem games that I have, which I still haven't done yet. But I did end up buying Birthright just because it was on sale for like Black Friday, so I got it for like $20. So
just have it in your back pocket. Yeah.
It was like 15 or 20. It was pretty cheap, so I just went ahead and got it because it was so cheap.
Yeah,
but I still haven't played it. Just because I know that with starting it, there's a whole bunch of it's Fire Emblem. There's a lot of dedication that comes to it, and I've been trying to play through all the Dragon Quest games, so that's what I've been spending most time on. But I still have it on the back burner. But I did play the mobile app, which is Fire Emblem Lite, which I kind of like. Well, actually, let's get to that in a minute. I just want to talk the news real quick, because we normally do at the top of the show.
Of course.
Is there any? And I haven't even talked to you about it. What do you think of the Switch? Like, what are your thoughts on like where Nintendo's going and all this shit that's happening right now? With our few weeks that we have left before the release.
It feels like they came right up to the edge of what I thought they should do and then backed away from it.
Yeah.
Where like the Switch, like it seemed like they were setting up for this full, like, the Switch is our new thing. We're dropping the 3DS pretty much. We're dropping the Wii U pretty much. And it's just like, here is the Switch. It is your Nintendo console for Nintendo things. Yeah. And then they kind of backed away from that. And I don't understand. What do you think, Jeremy?
Oh, so you were hoping that it would be the new ecosystem, that everything would be based on the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like they have, their first party stuff is like the best there is, right? It is some of the best video games that are made, and by having 2 platforms, they are dividing the resources. And I feel like they don't have, like, I feel like we see with like the Wii U that, like, I mean, for hardcore fans like us, we think we definitely still got our money out of the Wii U, of course. But like for a larger marketplace, I feel like splitting their resources like this isn't doing them any favors.
See, I don't know, because they always say they're not splitting they're going to keep splitting their resources rather. And then eventually they just say, oh, no, we're not making games for that anymore. Kind of like they do with the Game Boy Advance once the DS was released.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
They always kind of say, it's just like, they want to kind of cover their asses, I guess. But then again, I mean, I felt the same way, that I thought they might do away with the 3DS.
I feel like at one point they were even saying, and I'm not sure this is for sure, but it's before they announced what the Switch was, and they were making it sound like it was supplemental to the Wii U and 3DS. Mm-hmm. Even at one point.
Yeah, when they started talking about
it. They'll change their mind if they sell a shit ton of Switches and the install base is strong enough to drop the 3DS, I think. Maybe it'll still have games made for it by other parties, and Nintendo just won't be putting any first-party stuff into it.
That's a good point.
Into the Switch?
Or the Vita keeps going, but Sony's not really doing anything for it.
Oh, you mean the 3DS?
Like, well, no, I'm saying, like, I'm likening it to the Vita in the sense that still has games coming out for it, but Sony stopped developing for it a while ago.
Yeah.
It's just that third parties are still making games for it, so that might continue to happen with the 3DS for a little while. Nintendo stopped.
Yeah, I figured that we're keeping it going just because they're still selling 3DSs. You know, they're still making money off of it. So they're like, well, maybe we should keep it going for a couple more years. I don't know.
Well, and a lot of people that just bought it this Black Friday are going to be pissed. Because, I mean, a ton of people bought them this year for the first time.
Yeah, they were gone all over the place.
Because of the cheapest version you could ever get of the new 3DS.
Yeah. I am working at a Walmart these days, and let me tell you, on Black Friday, we sold our 3DSs, like all of them, in like 5 minutes. They were gone.
How many did you have?
Oh, man.
I am not electronics. I am not privy to that information, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how much you got, because, you know, Nintendo, they normally don't send out a whole lot. But I looked everywhere for the $99 Black Friday 3DS, and I did not see it anywhere. But I didn't go, you know, I should have went out early to get it. I thought that since the 3DS is like 5 years old, that they'd be everywhere. But yeah, I couldn't find that one, and then I couldn't find the 151, and eventually I couldn't find like the XL ones either. Like they all, and I haven't seen them ever since. Like I haven't seen a 3DS in any like regular retail store ever since. Like if you go to like a used game place, I've seen them there, but I have not seen one in a Best Buy, Toys R Us, Walmart, Target, whatever. Like any place I've been into, I have not seen a 3DS since November. So I don't, you know, they're obviously selling them.
I've been hearing that as nationwide. I've been hearing that as well, like multiple reports of that.
Because I wanted to buy one for my girlfriend for Christmas because they were so cheap. I ended up having to get one on eBay. I ended up getting an older new 3DS one for not that bad, but I wanted the $99 one. But you know, I couldn't find that one anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of why they're backtracking that a little bit, and they're like, well, maybe we should make some more games for 3DS. But I'm with you. Yeah, I wanted the idea. I like the idea of like, yeah, all of the games that would come out for the Wii U and the 3DS to be on the same system, which as Nintendo fans, we always kind of have to bounce back and forth between one or the other. But if they're both on the same thing, then there wouldn't be as many gaps in between games.
There always was a reason for that, but now that they've got a console that's portable and a home console, the desire to bounce back and forth isn't going to be as strong because you'd rather just have the huge, nice tablet console when you're on the go and not the little 3DS screens.
What do you guys think of the lineup?
I'm not really into it. I'm still kind of...
I'm into Zelda.
Yeah, but I mean, you can get that on the Wii U.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of reminds me a lot of the Wii again, which I mentioned before on the show. But I'm honestly not really. I mean, I'm not fully sold for the Switch yet. I mean, Mario looks awesome, and I know when Mario comes out, I'll totally be super excited about it. But as of like launch stuff, it's like I don't know. There's not really anything.
Yeah, I mean, launches are always rough for basically every single console, you know? I think, you know, Zelda looks good, and also I've seen some stuff comparing Switch versus Wii U, and the draw distance on the Switch version is impressive, and in that open world, I think that'll be really cool. But also, like, I mean, you've got Splatoon 2, which I'm excited for. You have that, you know, that new Mario, which of course looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
I personally... am a No More Heroes fan, so that's exciting, and also portable version of Disgaea 5 is exciting for me. So they got lucky with me. But
I mean, well, there's stuff that I like. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, the launch stuff doesn't look exciting. But yeah, I'm super pumped about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Obviously, that looks awesome. You know, Mario looks fantastic. Splatoon 2 looks good. I just don't know how long I'm gonna have to wait until these come out. Yeah, I mean, Snipper Clips is like a small $10 game that you'll play at the beginning, but yeah, I'm not sure about 1-2 Switch, but we'll get to play it. I mean, we're going to I'm going to, hopefully Jeremy's going to, I got
my stuff covered.
I got invited by Nintendo to go to like a presentation thing in Chicago, so like in a couple weeks we're going to get to go play it. So hopefully we'll get to play some 1-2 Switch and Snipper Clips and Zelda and all that fun stuff. So I'm hoping that I'll probably be more sold on it then. But right now, I mean, I like the idea of it. I like the games in the pipeline. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. You know, and there's the lack of third-party support, which is always there. It's always like a third-party support. I was just hoping there'd be a little bit more support up front for this. I mean, they claim they have 100...
Something about the virtual console by now. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice too. Yeah, if they would have mentioned something about that.
I was kind of wondering when they did that Fire Emblem Direct, like the week after the Switch release.
Yeah.
I started to wonder if the reason they held off so long with the Switch unveil is that they were going to do like a Direct with an announcement for the Switch like every week until launch. Like if they're going to do this big rolling thing.
Oh, that would be cool.
I got my hopes way too far up.
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh, because of the Fire Emblem one. That would be
the same.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But what do you think about the new 3DS Fire Emblem game that was in the presentation? The Fire Emblem Gaiden Echoes.
It looks fucking weird.
I think it looks interesting. I mean, have you played that game in any capacity? Like any sort of translated version or anything like that?
No, I haven't. I haven't looked into any of the translated ROMs of those games because in my older days I used to do more emulation and stuff, but then I was like, hey, actually I want to make sure the people who made this get money, and I stopped doing that, and ever since then I haven't.
But I mean, for stuff that was never released here,
Sure.
Out of curiosity. Like I played the first Fire Emblem on Famicom, like through a ROM thing, just because there's no other way for me to do it, before the DS release and all that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take a moral high ground or anything. Just for me personally, it's like if I start emulating, then I'll start emulating everything because I'm bad at restraint. So
for sure. No, I understand. I've been there, but I don't know. Do you think it's weird because of the? Well, it's definitely weird because of like the fully 3D roaming stuff in it.
Yeah, and like the dungeons where like you move around like a JRPG, and then if you bump into an enemy, it turns into a Fire Emblem battle. Yeah. It seems strange. Strange is good. Fire Emblem could use some shaking up. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. But it is like I don't know what to think yet.
Well, supposedly that game is kind of like the Zelda 2 of the Fire Emblem series. Back in the day when they wanted to make every sequel like so different from the first one to make it, so it's not like the same game. So there's a lot of like liberties that they took with that Fire Emblem game in particular. So it's kind of interesting that they're bringing that they're remaking that one. So I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how it plays out, and I think that stuff, the whole walking around stuff, looks interesting.
Sure,
that's about all I could say.
So I wonder if the walking around was in the original version.
I mean, it is sort of.
I don't know.
Like there's like an open world type thing in the original one, which I think is what they were saying in the direct. But it's 3D now.
Let me ask you a question, right? One of the things that Nintendo has done a couple of times recently is when they want to make changes to one of their classic franchises, they kind of use a game to ask permission to do that. An example would be like Link Between Worlds, which was a game that sort of changed up some things about Zelda that weren't core to Zelda, but were still like just very noticeable changes. And it was kind of them being like, hey, we'd like to try some new things with Zelda, like what they're doing with Breath of the Wild, and sort of testing to see if the market was ready for that.
Sure.
Do you think that maybe is what this Fire Emblem is? Is them being like, is it okay if we mess with Fire Emblem, you guys?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, Fire Emblem was kind of like their cash cow now, so I don't know why they want to mess with it. It seems to be they're making money off of them now, which is crazy.
Is that one only being released on the DS?
No, it's both.
Okay.
The Gaiden, the Echoes,
mm-hmm.
That's only being released in the. Oh, what do you mean? Like the new 3DS and the regular 3DS?
I thought it was coming to Switch as well, right?
There was an announcement for a Switch game, but they didn't show anything. It was just a logo.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I thought there was.
I also thought there was one that was on the Switch and the 3DS. I think I know what you're saying.
That's Heroes.
Yeah.
That's the Dynasty Warriors one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense now, because there's two different versions of that game.
Right, that makes sense.
Well, there's the Hyrule Warriors, the 3DS one, and the Wii U one. But yeah, that was the Fire Emblem Heroes was shown on the Switch Direct, or the Switch presentation. And then in the Fire Emblem Direct, they're like, oh yeah, it's on new 3DS also. But as far as I know, the new Fire Emblem game is just on 3DS. Like the one that we're talking about, the remake of the Japanese.
So, I mean, maybe they feel more comfortable taking the risk on something they like already are well established with the 3DS. You know, they're not taking the risk with the new console. They're taking the risk with the old one that they've got the install base already. And there'll be other Fire Emblem games coming out around the same time, so they're a little safer to do it then. But see, would that be like Mario Brothers 2? Like when they like remade that as Super Mario Brothers Advance and sort of like changed it up a little bit because it was a weird game.
as the first Game Boy Advance game. That's what
this is making me think of when you guys describe this game. Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
but I mean, like you know, Super Mario Brothers 2 Japan, aka Lost Levels, was was so loyal to Mario. Like,
it was a sequel for sure.
Right, it was like a level pack almost, and I don't mean that in a condescending way, but like it really bucks that trend of the NES ones where they really
I think
went
that's
in a
why
total different direction.
Yeah, I think that's why they started making them so different because of that one.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I think it's just like they think that Fire Emblem will sell no matter what, so that's like, hey, why don't we just try doing this one again? I think it's kind of what they're trying to do. And since the 3DS already has an established amount of people that own 3DSs, they're like, well, let's try it on this, I guess is what they're going. And if it does well, maybe they'll port it over to the Switch. Who knows? But
it has a track record of buying Fire Emblem games on 3DS as well.
Did you ever get a new 3DS, Colin?
No, I did not. I'm still rocking my my metallic purple launch 3DS.
Oh, wow.
It's still treating you well.
Yeah.
I
had to get a new battery, but otherwise.
What was the last game that you purchased for that? If you don't mind me asking, for your old 3DS.
Was Pokemon Moon.
Okay. How does that? I just was wondering if you had any of the newer ones. Like, how well does that work on the old 3DS? Does it kind of have some slowdown? Do you notice a difference?
Mm-hmm. If you have a double battle with 2 Pokemon on the field, and then you can also see the trainers in the shot, it gets pretty framey. The frame rate does not love that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But if it's just one-on-one, like one Pokemon versus one Pokemon, trainers behind them, it does fine.
Oh, okay. I was just curious because I've only played it on the new 3DS and I wasn't sure how well it transfers for that.
Yeah, there's some slowdown for sure. Yeah. Especially like when you fight like the totem Pokemon and they summon like backup. That's rough. Like you'll tell the game to do like a move, you'll be like, okay, use Fire Blast. And it'll be a good 10-15 seconds before it registers that you've done that. It's rough.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Did you make it all the way through Moon?
No, I keep getting distracted by a bunch of other stuff. It's been crazy.
I actually haven't played.
Yeah.
I haven't played Moon as much as I should either. But yeah, distractions.
I'm really enjoying it. But yeah,
I'm still trying to finish Dragon Quest VII, which I don't know if you've played that one yet, but it's incredibly long. I have 65 hours put into it right now, and I don't see any end in sight anywhere. I mean, I've completed all of the islands that to bring all the islands to life in the present, but I don't see any sort of end after that because I'm still collecting like pieces of tablets for a different thing that'll probably create other islands. I don't know. But yeah, that's supposedly that game's over 100 hours long, so I've been kind of stuck on.
Yeah, that's rough.
I've been very determined to try to get through that game, so I've been putting a lot of time into that. But
then you'll have 8.
Yeah, then I have 8 to play, and I have 5 and 6 that I haven't even played any of yet. And I played some of 9, and I still have to finish. So not even to mention Dragon Quest Monsters and all those other games that I'm trying.
I think I really want to get
well.
8. I've been looking at more stuff about it, and it looks really cool.
You should get 8. 8's a good game.
The characters seem interesting in it.
Well, I think it's more. Like I said last week, it's more approachable. It has voice acting, and it's less intense. I guess I think it's like a fifth of the time of 7. It's not as long as 7. I mean, it's a long game, but it's not like 100 hours. I think it's more like 50 hours. Something like that, like 40 or 50.
It's like a mainstream Dragon Quest game.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, they were trying to get the Americans to like it, which they've been trying to do for years. But it was successful. That one was, because they were trying to make it big and have it. It's probably has the best graphics of any of them. But I haven't seen 10, but that's not out here, so I can't really play it. So, is there? Did you see any news stuff for this week? I wrote down a couple things.
Switch rumors as usual, and then just the virtual console stuff. I didn't really see.
Did you watch?
I saw there's a Super Bowl commercial for the Switch, which is nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you watched the Super Bowl ad.
I did. There's that song that sounded like the Radioactive song.
What Radioactive song?
It sounds like that Imagine song, that Imagine Dragons song, Radioactive.
Oh, it is Imagine.
I don't know if it's the same band. Is it the same band?
It's the same band, yeah. It is Imagine Dragons.
It's just a different song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody mentioned, commented about it on the Facebook group that like the song had just come out and they put it on there, and it's doesn't it say something about like everything being routine or like everything looking for the new thing or something like that? I think it sort of has to do.
Yeah, it's like switch.
Is that how the song goes?
No, but that'd be really convenient if it did.
Switch.
That commercial is. It's too bad because I saw the extended cut first, and then I saw the Super Bowl cut, and the extended cut's really good and does a good job of being like, hey, look at this new console we're making and all the different things it can do. And then the Super Bowl cut, which I'm sure will do fine, but the Super Bowl cut is like, hey, look, you can play Zelda, and also you can play Zelda. And it's like,
All I
You
remember.
can start out playing Zelda and then end up playing Zelda at the end.
Well, you can play that Harry Potter game at your rooftop party. The game where they're pointing the Joy-Cons at each other, and it's not an actual Harry Potter game, but it looks like something out of Harry Potter, where they're pointing the Joy-Cons at each other like their magic wands, and however hard you point at the other one makes you win, or something like that. You know,
I imagine that's
like a
part
wizard,
of 1-2 Switch,
like a wizard battle. Yeah, but they showed that in there. I think that was in both versions.
Did you see? I think it may have been on Reddit where I saw it, but someone had frozen the frame where the guy's playing Mario Kart with the kids, and he's got the controller hanging down at his side. And they put it next to a frame of when Anakin kills all the little kids in Star Wars, where he's holding the lightsaber down his side.
Yeah.
They're like, this is exactly what it's like playing Mario Kart with kids. He's about to slaughter them.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. You should look for that because it literally they lined it up really well.
Nice.
It's where maybe Nintendo did it intentionally. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's possible.
I saw something saying playing the Switch will get you girls, and it just shows all these pictures of stuff from the commercials of guys playing the Switch and girls being like, "Hey, what are you playing?" So I saw that.
Yeah, they're heading into a more edgy territory for the Switch advertising. They've got an ad plan for 1-2 Switch where it's the quick draw game, and one guy wins and the other one falls over bleeding, and he clutches his chest and he looks up and he says, "Why?" And it says Nintendo Switch.
Is that real? I hope that's a real commercial.
No, that would be amazing, but no, that was bullshit.
He kills them. Well, it's like when the Wii came around and there were all those like joke videos about like what you could do with the Wiimote, like stabbing people or like showing a kid like moving it around, and then the game is, you know, them with a bat like beating somebody or whatever. there was a lot of that stuff. Or like I think there was an IGN one where it's like where the dude's like peeing with the Wiimote and he's like shaking it to like to like waggle the pee off your, you know, like that type of thing. All sorts.
Well,
of
we're gonna feel that
when
we milk the cows.
Yeah. Can't wait
the
to milk
drippy
those cows.
fluids.
Yeah, and you can feel it too in the HD Rumble. It's totally there. You can feel the wetness of the milk.
Totally feels like you're shaking off the last drops of urine.
Yeah. Wow. I saw somewhere that somebody was saying that the internet, the charge for the internet might be cheaper. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
Like there was like a
really
leak
cheap,
that's saying that it would be like $25 or $30 a year, which isn't that bad compared to.
It's not bad
compared to other. I mean, compared to like what is I don't know what Xbox is, but PlayStation's like $60 a year now, right? For the PlayStation Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I don't know what
they're both $60 a year.
They're both $60 a year. So that's like half. That's at least half of that. So that's cool.
I think a lot of people don't realize that by charging for the internet, it's going to be like the online stuff's going to be better because of that. Because they'll have more income to put towards the servers. And all that shit.
Yeah, sure. That's the idea. That's the whole idea of it.
I mean,
is they'll make it better.
Yeah.
The problem. I don't know. I had a PlayStation 3, and then PlayStation 4, and they started charging for the online, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that didn't actually make it better.
Made it worse?
No, it didn't really make a difference, honestly.
Yeah.
At least from my limited experience, you know, that's anecdotal. But it was like, oh, PlayStation 3, like, internet is like, the downloads can be kind of slow, but it works fine, I guess. And it was basically the same on PlayStation 4.
Yeah. I mean, I did PlayStation Plus for a while on PlayStation 3 just so I could get all the free games that came with it.
Mm-hmm.
But but now I have a PS4 now, and I haven't gotten the PlayStation Plus yet because one thing, I don't really play online at all, and I kind of just didn't want to pay for it. And like the games that they offer now, I don't really care about because there aren't as many games as there were for PS3, and the stuff that they offered for that for free was worth more to me, I guess, than what they've been offering for this lately. But yeah, I didn't really notice much of a difference either. I thought it was just like, you know, not enough people playing for PlayStation Plus, so now you have to have it to be online. Is what I figured that they were doing. I don't know in the transition, but who knows? But I mean, for Nintendo,
well, who knows what Nintendo's doing either?
Yeah, I mean, for Nintendo though, isn't most of it going to be through your phone? So you know. Like the voice chat and lobbies and all that is, you know, it's going to be through your phone. So that's not actually their internet. That's just your phone service, right? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work.
And also, like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, no, there's a, like, you want me to pay to call people on my phone? That's called a phone. I have one. I don't need you to do that, Nintendo.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it's like, you know, now you can use the phone to talk to your friends. It's like, well, we already did that, Nintendo, but now we can do it through an app that says Nintendo on it. Cool. There's no difference.
Name your price.
You might show a little picture of like the screen art of the game you're playing.
yeah, right. In case you forgot, this is still Splatoon. Oh, cool.
I mean, like, if it does have, like, if you look at your phone and it's just like you're me and the other person's me, just kind of like walking around and making little like laughing and talking animations, that'd be okay.
I guess.
Yeah, they're just showing pictures. That's the new Miiverse is on your phone. It's showing pictures they drew of Splatoon characters.
What's the new Funky Barn?
The new Funky Barn?
Uh-huh. Or is it Funky Farm? I forget.
Funky Farm? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Funky Kong?
No, it was a Wii U game. Like, it was a launch Wii U game. I think it was like an Ubisoft like farming game. The thing is, no one actually played this game. It's just that the Miiverse was full of insanity because people were like, "Who plays this game? Let's just post pictures of like sheep with like disco wigs." And it was incredible.
Oh, okay.
Was it a downloadable thing? It wasn't hard. It wasn't an actual disc, was it?
I'm pretty sure there was an actual disc. Funky. That's not how you spell funky.
Raving Rabbids?
Funky Barn. Yep. Funky Barn has a physical release.
Funky
Barn.
It
was a 3DS and a Wii U Ubisoft game.
Oh wow. I never heard of it. I'm surprised.
That's too bad. You should have checked out that Miiverse. It was pretty sick.
So you got to see the Miiverse like back at the beginning of the Miiverse.
Oh yeah, back when it was magical. Back when it was just a bunch of people just like reveling in the fact that it was a forum where you drew stuff and just being like, I'm on the Netflix Miiverse and I'm gonna try and draw a picture of fucking like Kristen Bell. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like Sideways.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
crazy.
Sideways. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was at the beginning there. There wasn't a whole lot to do aside from draw pictures on Miiverse. That's kind of what you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Miiverse is a weird thing because I've had people friend me, and so I've like gone to their pages, and there's people that's all it'll be. It's just pictures they draw all the time, and like little comments about how they feel. Like they're treating it like a live journal or something, but with pictures.
Weird.
Yeah.
There was that fun period where some of the Miiverses got hacked. Where did you see some of this shit? Where like I think like the new Luigi Brothers New Luigi Brothers U, got hacked so that the like the header image on the Miiverse was not Luigi. It was just like people were just putting whatever photo they wanted up there because they just hacked into the source code.
Oh wow!
No, I didn't see it. That's
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Well, if it was,
I will miss the Miiverse.
I was gonna say if it was around the time that
John.
If it was around the time that New Luigi Brothers was out, I didn't have the system then, so I didn't see it.
Oh no, I think it was long after when no one was paying attention to it anymore. It was like late last year, I think.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't really look at Miiverse a whole lot. I mean, I like Miiverse, but I'll just randomly post stuff. And some people do you ever like post a picture and somebody just writes like a really long comment about it that you don't know? That like happened to me the other day.
A couple of times, yeah.
Because I posted like a picture of Dragon Quest VIII, and I was like, "Wow, this game looks great." And some guy like wrote like this really long paragraph about how it doesn't look great, and put it on there. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Like, I don't know this person. But
they
wrote this.
Someone to talk to.
They were talking about like how disappointed they were that it didn't have 3D, and it was like this whole paragraph about why not having 3D makes it look bad. And I'm like, what? Okay.
Maybe it was a bot, a complaint bot.
No, really, it's like a paragraph. They left a paragraph on my. Check whenever you get on your Wii U or 3DS, like check
there
out
are bots on Miiverse.
Check out my Miiverse. Like go to look at my pictures and find that paragraph that guy wrote about how Dragon Quest VIII doesn't look good. It's pretty funny.
He hates Dragon Quest.
Yeah, well, he loves 7 because it has 3D, but he didn't like 8. Didn't like the way 8 looked. Weirdly enough,
because it didn't have 3D.
Yeah, that's what I got from the paragraph was that because it didn't have 3D, it doesn't look as good.
Man's entitled to his feelings.
That's true.
So, Colin, I did want to ask you because you mentioned you were working at Walmart. Do you have any Nintendo or NES Classic stories? Like, were you able to get one, or were you not around at that time? Or
my NES Classic story is basically just like knowing what people worked in electronics, and around that time they would walk through the store, like they'd walk through the back through the employee areas and the back hallways, and people would start walking towards them and they would close their eyes and hold up their hands and say, "No, we don't have any," and just keep walking.
Wow.
It was like everyone, it was intense. I work in dairy. I work over in like milk and stuff, and people would be like, "Oh, you got any 2%? You got any NES Minis?" And it's like, no, we don't have the NES Classic. Go away.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I like that insider view because I was like when I went to GameStop one time and like I waited outside because I had read a rumor on Twitter that they were going to have NES Classics, you know.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Of course, I had already gotten one, so I just was there hoping to get one as a gift. But there were people outside waiting with me, and we were all talking about it. And then we go inside. I immediately asked the guy, "Hey, did you get any NES Classics?" He's like, "Nope, we didn't get any today." I'm like, "Okay." And then I heard 3 other people ask him in different ways right after me. Mm-hmm. The second guy was like, "Do you have any of those Xboxes?" "What Xboxes?" "The Xbox Ones." "Xbox Ones?" "Yeah, the Nintendo ones." "Oh, you mean the NES Classic?" "Yeah."
Yeah. No, we don't have those. Go away.
So I can't imagine working at like a retail store. Yeah, people are asking you over in Houseware, just like, "So are there NES Classics over here next to the microwaves?"
I mean, there was one Black Friday where like a couple of stores, and not like Walmart's, but like a couple of stores in the world hid stock. I mean, everybody knows that now. And so now every time someone wants something and it's not where it's supposed to be, that must not mean we're out. It must mean we're hiding it somewhere. And it's like, no, we don't do that.
That sounds like something
You're not going to pull back the Swiss cheese and there's going to be a bunch of NES Classics back there. That's not how this is going to go.
That sounds like the mindset I would have like when I'm a kid.
Someone like diving
like the toy must be here somewhere.
Looking under the rocks.
Maybe you forgot and left it in the freezer. I mean, you might have done that.
I mean, it has been tempting. Like, it has, you know, obviously it doesn't happen anymore, right? People don't. Like, some people come to electronics and ask about them, but I'm not getting the questions over in dairy. But as Christmas was getting real close, it started to become really tempting to be like, listen, I shouldn't tell you this. They're over in pets. You really gotta like just grill the guy. He's gonna say they're not there. And just gotta keep pushing.
Just give him some phrase and be like, these are the passwords that you have to say to him.
Right. Ask for Alpo 22. When he says, "What does that say?" You know, kibble.
Do you have the Scottish yarn?
Keep doing
missed opportunities.
Crazy.
So you weren't able to get one, or did you not care to get one?
NES Classic? I didn't. If it had been easy to get one, I probably would have, but I didn't care to try very hard.
Gotcha.
So
I actually got mine at a Walmart on the midnight of, the time when it was released. And so I don't know if you had a story about like a huge line being there, or if you were there at the time.
Nah, I wasn't there that late. I did go ahead and after the Switch was announced properly, I did go ahead and mosey on over to electronics and be like, "Hey, here's $30. Just hold on to one of them for me." And so now I've got my pre-order in.
Cool.
For the Switch.
So you do have one for sure.
Yeah, I've got one locked down.
Well, there you go. So you were sold enough on the Switch then to put a pre-order down.
I mean, yeah, I really like being able to stay current and to, talk about the latest releases and stuff. And I really like the pitch of being able to play, I make a lot of use of the tablet, like the off TV play with the Wii U's tablet, the gamepad.
Oh yeah.
And being able to take that to the next level where, I don't have to worry about... I bought Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and it looks great, and I played a little bit of it, and I really like it, but you can't off-TV play it, so I haven't played very much at all.
Yeah, it sucks that you can't off-TV play it. I love that game, but yeah, that kind of bummed me out a lot too, because I play it less as well, I think, because of the full dedication you have to do with the two screens, which is unfortunate.
And it made me realize how much I really appreciate that off-TV play, and taking it the next step. I'm really going to enjoy with the Switch.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for stuff down the road. It's just right now. And according to the news, was it the president of Nintendo said that they have 100 games in development now? That's what I heard. The number got larger.
It got larger.
Speaking of the NES remix, real quick, did you see that it sold like 1.5 million total?
Yeah.
So
it's a worldwide, right?
I think so. Yeah. So
imagine if they actually made a couple of them.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for them to just be sitting around at a store. I figured they'd be now that it's February, but I still haven't seen any of those.
Did they say
either.
They were increasing the production of them?
Yeah. No, they are making more. That's why I was I figured, because I feel like I saw.
We'll see just a huge shelf of them at Target in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, or like one.
Or just
seeing one that's just sitting around. Like I told Jeremy on like one of our previous podcasts, I walked into Target and I saw a fucking Hatchimal like right in the middle of the store, just sitting there. That nobody was. It was there. Like nobody cared. It was just it was just in the store.
This was after Christmas. Though,
after
right?
after Christmas, yeah. It's like so. I figured I would just see an NES just somewhere, being like, oh, we don't care anymore.
Yeah, no, I still have yet to see the box. I don't know what the box looks like because I still haven't seen any of them.
Yeah,
it's a nice box.
It is a nice box. Well, just one more thing before we go to break. I heard that GameFly's not carrying any Switch games right off the bat. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
You think it's just because they need packaging for the cartridges or something?
I don't know. Maybe they're just not. I don't know. Maybe they're just not ready to support it yet or something. I don't know. But they said they won't have it, that they won't have it yet. This is what I heard from somebody who like called them or who like is a member. Tried to see if there's going to be anything available like for launch to rent, and they said no. So, but that could be Nintendo too, just not giving them anything because they want to make sure that people buy games.
Sure.
So it may not fully be them, But I thought that was interesting.
I did see that the Super Mario Odyssey is the most viewed trailer on Nintendo's YouTube site.
Really? Above Breath of the Wild?
Yep.
Oh wow. Well, it is. I mean,
I think it's a bunch of people.
It's a nice
bunch of people
game.
looking for that sweet Sonic 06 factor.
Yeah. It looks very Sonic Adventure. I agree with you.
That shot of him running next to the dude in the suit is just haunting. It's terrifying.
It looks like, it doesn't look like Nintendo made it. It looks like, one of those things people make in the rendering programs. Like, did either of you see the Grand Theft Auto one that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Skits on with Mario.
Yeah, where he's just getting beat up and making bad backflips and all that.
The bad backflips are my favorite part.
Yeah.
He's like face plants.
A friend of the show, John, who's been on the show before, I was talking to him about the new Mario trailer, and he's like talking about like how there's like people in it now. It's like, are you going to explain like why Mario has this weird like dwarfism, gigantism he has this huge head and he's like smaller than everybody? Like, are they going to explain? Is that like what happens to you when you go in the different dimension? And then
it must be the alternate gravity situation in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, because if Mario was once a human, he doesn't look like a human anymore compared to the people that are there. It's
maybe the different
a man.
Yeah, maybe the different worlds are like different books or something, and it's supposed to be based off of something else. Like, so maybe the humanoid characters will look different in a different world.
I know this is more of a Kojima move than a Nintendo one, but I would be really excited if in different worlds Mario looked different. Like if you went to New Donk City and suddenly it was just like a human ass Mario.
Yeah,
weird.
That would be fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it looks like California racing.
Yeah, and like if this trailer was just them covering for it, but Nintendo doesn't do that much. So
yeah. Oh, it reminds me. I mean, the whole thing kind of reminds me of like The Simpsons, like when they went 3D, like for that Halloween episode, and then Homer like goes into the real world. That's like kind of part of what that trailer reminded me of, except for it still looks like Mario.
I'm thinking of the Mario that was on the cover of Nintendo Power. Was it for Mario 2, like the clay Mario?
Yeah, that was Mario 2.
I was thinking, what if that was a level?
I would love that if they did like something like the Kirby Rainbow Curse and Mario was clay all of a sudden. That'd be great.
How much cooler if they actually like used that awful art from back on Nintendo Power and made a whole world out of it.
That would be sick.
Be great.
It would.
As long as they used that real guy from like the Zelda one, like someone in a Link costume. And you get to meet the Mega Man that has a gun, and he doesn't actually have a hand cannon, who's like carrying a pistol.
Oh man, that's $1 million idea for a game. Games like a game world based on all
old
box
covers.
art of games.
Yeah,
that's what everybody looks like.
Sure, they should. Be great. Anyway, you guys want to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk about the Fire Emblem Heroes game.
Sure.
All right, cool.
Sounds good.
Be right back.
Be right back.
Fire Emblem, your spirit shall shine across the generations now and for a time. Fire Emblem, heroes bring us hope life, fly from distant worlds to steal the coming night. We Take with ready countryside, shield champion for from high. In this land where time and heroes live, and the legends never die.
So Fire Emblem Heroes launched today, later than expected, but it finally came out. You guys got your copies, right? I'm sure. Got the
I am
free
on
version of
chapter
it.
5 now.
You're on chapter 5. Jeremy, where you at?
I'm in prologue.
The prologue.
The prologue.
Yeah, prologue.
You're at the prologue, man.
Yeah, I was.
Where the pros hang out.
I tried to download it before work, and it still wasn't up on the shop, so I got it after work and had it for about an hour before we started talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was. It released later. Like I was trying to download it. Like when I got up at 1, I was trying to download the game, but it didn't. I don't think it actually came around until around 5 or so. Did you?
Yeah, it took a while.
Yeah, I don't know why it was delayed, because I was freaking out. I was like, oh no, is it not going to come out today? It's like, are we not going to have anything to talk about? But yeah, I ended up getting it. It's very much a Fire Emblem Light, which is okay, like from what we were talking about earlier about how complicated Fire Emblem can get. I kind of like the lighter side of it a little bit. And it's just
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's stuff I miss about it.
Support conversations?
Yeah. And right when I started to, because there's parts where you start fighting like people, you start fighting like Marth and Roy and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I thought that maybe I could go talk to them and get them to join you, like you would in normal Fire Emblem games. So I walked up to him and killed one of them, and I'm like, oh no, and I turned off the phone and tried to restart it, and I was like, oh wait, I guess you can't do that on this.
Yeah.
Because, in those ones, you would, send your main person over to talk to whatever character has a name and has a story, and then they'll become part of your team. I thought maybe you could do that with this one. But from what I've seen so far, you can't.
I mean, you can't even, I guess this won't, but, I sent Corin to attack, God, what's her name? I think it's Camille. I forget. She's, but basically, I sent the main character of Fire Emblem Fates to go attack her adoptive sister who adores her, and there was zero dialogue, and I was like, really? Okay.
Oh yeah, well,
disappointing.
I feel like it sort of has the basis of Hyrule Warriors or Fire Emblem Heroes will, we have all these characters from all these games that are just kind of in this game because they are, and they don't really.
Yeah, but at least in Hyrule Warriors, you had Midna from Twilight Princess seeing, fucking. What's her face from Skyward Sword, the sword lady? Yeah, I forget.
Fee?
Seeing Fee, flip out and turn into a sword, and at least you got Midna going whoa, that's kind of cool. And it's yeah, thank you. Just a little acknowledgement that each other exists would be nice.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they didn't go into that. With how many characters they have in there, maybe that would be too much writing or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, you don't even get
I'm hoping that they add it at least.
Even when you beat the levels, you don't get a little death noise from the, in the regular ones when you beat the final guy of the map, he'll say oh, whatever, he'll say something, or he'll say something to you before you fight him, like that. He'll be oh, there's Eliwood, come to run me through with the sword or whatever, and then he's oh, he did after that. It's better than that, but he'll say stuff before you fight and stuff after you fight, and they don't do that on this either.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels I don't know, I am enjoying it. But I worry about its staying power because the flavor doesn't feel totally there. Those are little things we're complaining about, support conversations or exchanges between enemies and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's stuff that you would see in the actual game, which they're not. Yeah. I think they're trying to just give you a taste, so you'd be oh, I kind of like this. I want to go get these other Fire Emblem games. It's basically what they want you to do with this.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. How do you feel about the roster?
I mean, it's sort of unlimited, right? Kind of, because you can just gamble. You can keep throwing the dice to see who you can get. You mean like that? Like who you can recruit or how you can recruit?
Well, I mean, right now there's a list of 89 characters that are in the game that I have in front of me right now. Of the ones they picked, what do you think?
I was going to say, are there any missing? Because I went through...
there are tons missing.
Yeah. I haven't looked at the roster for the game, but I was on the website, where you could vote for guys that you want to be on your team or whatever. And I was able to find most of the guys that I knew from previous games. But a lot of those are not in this game. Okay,
At least
see,
not
I
yet.
didn't know that they weren't in there because I like put the Beast guys from like the GameCube game on my team and stuff like that. I'm sure they're not in the game. The guys that like turn into the Panthers and Dragons and stuff like that.
So the games that are represented right now are Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, Fire Emblem The Binding Blade, aka Fire Emblem 6, Fire Emblem 7, the first Game Boy Advance one, Awakening, and Fates. There's nothing from GameCube, there's nothing from Wii, there's nothing from the Super Nintendo ones, there's nothing from Fire Emblem 2.
Yeah.
And even among the ones they picked, like, I mean, Fates, they have a ton. Awakening, they have quite a few. But, like, the ones before that, they're very picky about what they actually put in.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like how many people are in there from the Game Boy one? Probably just like Lynn and Ike and a couple other ones probably from the original
8,
Game Boy Advance one. Yeah.
Not a ton, but 8. So.
Yeah. Because that was my favorite one. Even though I feel like I thought I found a guy from the actually Ike is from the GameCube one. I forgot who was it. Elliewood was on that one.
Yeah, Elliewood's from 7.
Okay, yeah, I was confused as to whether he was in Sacred Stones or the first Game Boy Advance one.
Yeah, first Game Boy Advance one.
Which is still my favorite one, and I got like a
yeah.
couple levels from beating that. I got pretty close to beating that one actually, but I think I'm out of swords.
Fire
Emblem
problems
of those old games. Yeah, where the swords break, which they don't do that anymore, right? In the new Fire
No,
Emblems?
they don't. To me, it was crazy, but it works.
I mean, actually, I like that. I like that your swords don't break anymore. That's really annoying that they would break. But yeah, the new one's very super simplified. I mean, it's very much like, it's supposed to give you a taste of it. But what really disappointed me about it, and I talked about it before, after the Direct, was it's like the art style of the game. Like how everything's kind of like chibi and tiny and cutesy. For the actual fighting stuff.
Sure.
Like, you don't have the great animation that you had from from the Game Boy Advance one. Which is what originally turned me on to Fire Emblem. Was like, oh man, these battles look really cool,
Yeah, I've got a 5-star Lyn, and she's using the Soul Kadi, and when she gets a crit, she just slashes her sword. She doesn't do the teleport and turn into 5 of me thing that was so dope.
Well, no, yeah, it doesn't do any of that stuff. And the wizards don't do the cool flux thing where it turns into the ball and then comes apart and goes into the ground and comes up, and turns into a ball again. They don't do any of that cool the cool magic power stuff that they used to, which I miss. And I felt like that would be the kind of thing that would turn somebody onto it, to be like, oh man, this looks cool. Maybe I should try this on DS or try it on Wii U or Switch or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like they're not necessarily representing the series in the right light, I guess. But I mean, for being a free game, which I wanted to point out, I was wrong about, because when we talked about it before, after the Fire Emblem thing, I said that I thought that they were going to charge for it like they did with Super Mario Run, and they didn't. It's ended up being free.
No, it's gacha.
Yeah, it's gacha, like you said. But I have yet to pay for any orbs, because I got 10 free ones from Nintendo, and I think I got another 10 free just for starting the game. And and you earn them every time you beat a level. And I've probably done the orb summoning thing, I've done it, all of it, maybe 2 or 3 times, and I still haven't run out of orbs, so I've been alright. But I didn't run out of stamina either. And you said at the top of the show that you did, Colin. So how quick did that
several
take
times
you?
now. Yes.
Because it only charged you 2 per battle, right? Or does it get higher the farther you get into it?
I mean, it uses the amount depends on the mission. The difficult, they go up, and then the harder missions cost more stamina as well.
Yeah.
But okay, this is the first day. I have played maybe 5 hours of this game on the first day. The rate at which I'm getting stamina is going to be totally fine when I'm not playing this game nonstop like a fucking maniac. Yeah. I think the rate at which your stamina comes back is totally okay. It's just that right now I'm playing it like I've got a fever and it's the only cure. So
it's only
right. And you had to be ready for the podcast, so you had to play it.
Oh sure.
Exactly. No, that was that was kind of I was in chapter 3 and I was like, I can't get on the podcast only having gotten to chapter 3. I got to keep up with these guys.
Oh yeah. You expected more from us.
Yeah.
I guess.
Expected too much.
Well, I appreciate
I would
it.
play a little further if it weren't for the fact that it went on the shop so late. So, do you have an iPhone, Colin?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So, what time did it show up on the Apple Store today, or were you watching?
I think it showed up around 4:30.
Okay. Yeah, it was 4 or 5 because I was watching too, and it wasn't showing up, and I was getting freaked out. I was like, "Where is it?"
Must have been the same for Android because I worked at 3 and I tried right before I started work, and it still wasn't up. So And then when I checked again later at like 8 o'clock, it was up.
Yeah. So.
Have you guys done much reading about like the mechanics of the game yet? Because like I have questions about what the game becomes that I'm not sure about.
What sort of mechanics? What do you mean?
Well, like there's some kind of okay. So if you go to your allies tab and click on advanced growth, one of the options is unlock potential, which costs like hero feathers, and I don't know what that is.
Oh, hero feathers?
Or an unlock potential. Does that mean you go to like an advanced class? Like you could turn your sword, your Myrmidon into a swordmaster? Or does that mean like changing them from 3 stars to 4 stars? Or what does that mean?
Yeah, I was wondering if there's any sort of like evolving or upgrading or whatever your class like you can in the other games. Mm-hmm. I was curious about that, but I haven't haven't seen anything about that yet. I did buy some crystal shards like from Club Nintendo because I have a whole lot of platinum coins and I have nothing to use them on. So I just went and bought pretty much everything that was available for Fire Emblem Heroes. I bought from my Nintendo store like for 100 platinum coins each. And I got the 10 orbs like for free that you get right off the bat. But I wasn't sure what to do with them. Like I went into the level up thing where you can like it's like, oh, you can take this guy and you can level him up like 4 levels, but it would take like all of my crystals pretty much. It'd take like 400 something to do that. But the feathers, I don't know.
I mean, I think mostly that you save those for like when you've bought someone new, because everyone new starts at level 1 and you want to play some catch up.
Yeah, there's also
what I would use those for.
There's also training levels though, which is what I was doing because you can build, because I've been building teams out of the guys that I get from the orbs, like the summoning, because I got a couple guys that I thought were cool. So I built a couple teams off of them, and they're all at 1. But if you go to the training tower, like when it shows the different towers, like the story tower and the challenge tower or whatever, if you go to the training one, you can just go to level 1 and you can just level up your guys a couple levels, like each level on that, and just play through. It's basically old levels that you already played through. You can play them again and level up your guys in that way. So I just did it that way instead of like using the crystals to the gold whatever to level them up. So that works.
If you were out of stamina, like I am, then
I didn't run out of stamina though. I mean, I played it for a good amount of time. And as far as I got down to 30, but I didn't get, I think 30 was as low as I got. But I didn't play, I don't think I must not have played as long. But I didn't run out. Because I was thinking, I was like, man, I wonder how long it's going to take me to run out of stamina here. And I guess my interest in the game ran out before the stamina did. So
I think if you're playing at the same rate, you will probably not run out.
Sure. I was just playing it enough to kind of get my idea of it and like what I thought of it.
Did you get any good 5-star heroes?
I haven't gotten any 5-star yet. I think I just got 3 or 4 stars.
I got my 5-star Lyn and I got a 5-star Marth.
Well, shit. How many times did you throw the orbs in there? Have you spent any extra money on it?
No, I haven't spent a penny yet.
Okay, I was gonna say you haven't bought like stamina or you haven't bought orbs or anything like that.
Nothing. And I even still have like my free stamina drink to refill my stamina, I guess. So I guess technically I have never run out of stamina because I could always spend that thing to refill for free. But
sure.
I'd only spend it once.
Do you know what
I don't know.
I was just going to say, do you know what the dueling swords are? You know how you can restore your swords?
That's a currency that allows you to fight other team, like it allows you to fight another player's team. And it's not multiplayer. It's just like, oh, you were challenging this person. So the AI is going to drive their team for them.
Sure.
And you can fight that, I think is what that is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that must be in the challenge tower then, which I haven't tried yet.
That's if you go to, the like sort of the grid where you can choose like story maps or special maps. There's an option called Arena Duels, and that's where you spend that, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the different maps. Yeah, there's a training tower, story maps, arena maps, and special maps. I've only done training tower and story maps. I actually did try the special map. I tried one of the special maps and I got my ass kicked. So
yeah, because that one's actually, it was interesting to see because there's no permadeath in this, but in those special maps, at least the ones that are there right now, if you lose anyone, you instantly lose the mission. I did the normal and the hard one is because I saw that they were gonna time out, and I was like, oh, I can't let it time out, so I went ahead and did them.
Yeah, I did the same thing and I didn't make it. I got killed and got a game over. And I thought, and for only one character, and it was Anna, and I thought like maybe she was the main character. So when I was playing the regular game, like she got killed, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a game over, but then there was no game over. But yeah, there's no permadeath. We didn't mention that. There's a difference.
There is no permadeath?
No.
There is no permadeath.
So you can lose your guy in one level, and then when you start again, your guy's back. But there's not enough. I don't think you have enough guys. Well, I guess if you use the orbs, you could have enough where you'd have to filter guys in. But maybe they just didn't want to put that in there, and they wanted to make it more like the casual mode, I guess, which they added to Awakening. Right? That's in there. I never played it on that because I didn't want to play without permadeath. But I know that's on there for Awakening. Also, I think it's on there for Fates also.
You also can't save or anything, right? Like if it was Fire Emblem with permadeath and also you can't save, you never can reload and retry a fight, that'd be really fucked up.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, you can't restart the fight. You can like save. Like if you close out of it, it'll like auto save, but then it'll come back to wherever you were. So if your guy died and then you turn it off and you come back, your guy's still dead.
Right.
But it's not like the 3DS or the Game Boy one where you can like restart the system and then just restart the chapter again and all your guys are back. Like, there's no option for that. Which is what I tried to do, like, when I lost my first character on there. I was like, no. But yeah, they don't even say anything on that either. You know, like, when your guys would die in the regular game, they'd at least be like, Lord Eliwood, I've failed you, or whatever, you know, whatever. They'd say something as they were dying. Yeah. But they haven't really...
I never thought I would end here.
Yeah. But they've never really they haven't really developed their characters in a way to where they would talk like that, I guess. So,
yeah.
Like I said, it's very, very light. It's very Fire Emblem light. You know, it's like the...
Did we mention it's one screen? I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty apparent.
I actually kind of like that it's one screen because you don't have to like. It works better for like a touchscreen, like the way the way the operating system for the phone works. I think it works better for that because you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to take your finger and like move around to the different sides of the map to see like maybe you're missing something. I like how everything's contained on the screen. That was actually a plus for me on that. And you can only use like 4 characters at once. And I guess did you fight? Were you on anything that was more than 4 characters, like that you were against?
No, I've never gotten to. I've gotten some that were actually 3, and I've gotten to some that were. I've seen some that were less, but I've never seen more than 4 enemies. Yeah. So,
and they're probably
looks pretty hilarious on a tablet then if it's like. Just one screen.
Then you get to see that chibi art, like
6
really
inches tall.
Yeah. You get the chibi art really, really huge.
Some of them big chibis.
Yeah.
Mega chibi.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to them adding, like, they'll add more heroes and they'll add more missions. And if that's all they do, then that's fine. I'll keep playing. I'll keep enjoying it. But I am optimistic that they'll also be like, and also we're going to add some banter and we're going to add some, like maybe some unique, animations for some characters and stuff. Just little additions to what's already here as well is my hope. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, they added stuff to Super Mario Run after that came out, so they might add.
And that was a one and done purchase. Like a game that is free to play and has like energy mechanics and stuff. They're even more incentivized to keep selling you and adding new things to sell you. So
yeah, for this. What did you think of Super Mario Run? We didn't ask you about that at the beginning. Did you buy that?
I like it. I like it all right. I bought it.
When was the last time you played it?
It's been a while. I mean, like, part of it is, like, honestly, that's not entirely Super Mario Run's fault. My screen is cracked.
Okay, yeah.
And for a while I was worried about cutting my finger. And
that
turns out that's not actually a problem, and I can get back to playing games. I found that out because I decided, like, fuck it, I'm going to play Fire Emblem Heroes, even if it cuts my finger. And then it didn't.
Dedication. That's dedication to the show right there. I like it.
Yeah. I realized today that I actually have never classified myself as a Fire Emblem fanboy, but it's like, okay, I own all of them. I am the person who you call in anytime you want to do a Fire Emblem cast. And also my friends were being like, I got like Effie? And I was like, oh, Effie, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, how do you know this? I'm like, oh, I guess I'm one of those people, huh?
Oh, they call you that. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
This is the Fire Emblem guy.
I guess.
Yeah, well, he did this.
Yeah. The fan
Maybe you did cut your thumbs and you're just like blocking it mentally.
I don't even feel the pain anymore. Fire Emblem has moved me beyond the realm of pain.
How strange does it feel to be playing it on your smartphone? That's got to be weird to you.
It is, but like the adaptation, like it feels like a smartphone game, right? Like with the chibi art style and the simplified animations and the fact that no one talks. It's like, oh yeah, no, if you're going to do Fire Emblem like smartphone, this is exactly what you would do. So at least that kind of feels accurate and right.
Yeah. I just wish that they would represent the art style of Fire Emblem better. And it'd be nice if they represent a little bit of the, like the story and the character building and all that. The stuff that I liked about the Fire Emblem games. I don't feel like they're necessarily portraying that well enough, like through the phone. Like if I knew nothing about Fire Emblem and I was playing this game, I don't think it would necessarily make me want to play the other games.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because it's not really,
obviously
it's not really showing me, it's not really showing me like the way that the stories would develop or like the way it would look. I'm just saying the stuff that I liked from the game, I don't really see pieces of that in this as to like an outsider.
Or like the personalities of the characters and their interactions is a lot of what sold me on Fire Emblem 2, is the way they interacted with each other, and you don't get any of that either. Yeah,
they don't have a weird room like an Awakening where you can just go in there and you can just see them like walk around and talk to each other.
And touch their faces.
Should have had that. Well, that was Fates, right?
I mean, you're on a smartphone. Actually, that would be easier than ever. They should totally just have like new feature. You can just poke them in the cheek and they'll blush.
That's when you're going to cut your finger.
Did you find it weird? Did you find it weird that on Pokemon Sun and Moon they pretty much gave you the face touching thing, but nobody said anything? I mean, with the Poke petting or Poke care, as they call it.
I think if they had made like Gardevoir blush when you did it, then I'd be like, no, I can't do this anymore. Put it down, walk away. But fortunately, Gardevoir just smiles, and it's okay. And I'm not a pervert.
Yeah.
I'm not a pervert, you guys. Listen, Internet, I'm not a pervert. I need you to know this about me.
Sure.
Those edited the nod out in the sound clip.
Oh, no.
That's what the Internet does.
Yeah.
Ah, God.
Yeah, I get to edit it, so I can make you guys say whatever. No.
He's part of the problem.
Hey, I edit podcasts, too. I know how it is. Sometimes you just got to screw somebody over. I respect it.
It sucks. Well, it takes a long time. But,
So do you think that they'll add Tokyo Mirage Sessions characters to this? Because that's technically Fire Emblem.
I wish they would. Well, I mean, I voted for. Did you do the thing with the website where you went and like voted for your team and all that? I'm sure you did that, right?
I didn't actually, because I didn't remember my Nintendo login.
Oh, okay. So you didn't link this to your account, this game, the mobile game?
I did. I didn't on my computer, because my computer remembers my phone remembers my login from Super Mario Run. And so when I went to use Fire Emblem, it was like, oh, do you want to log in with this? And I was like, yes, thank you. I don't have to remember what my login is.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, okay.
It was nice.
Yeah, I voted for the characters on my phone also and remembered it, like to link it or whatever.
Nice. Yeah, I probably should have just done it on my phone.
Oh, I was just curious, like, as to who you picked, like, for that. Because for that, you could go through, like, every single Fire Emblem game and pick out your dudes.
Yeah, I mean, I would have picked, loot from Sacred Stones. I probably would have picked female Robin from Awakening. You know, I would have picked some of the heroes they have in here. I'm not that unhappy with the roster, other than the lack of good mages. But
I picked Tharja on there just because I liked Tharja. I liked the way she was in Tokyo Mirage Sessions, so that's why I voted for her. Because she's like she's one of your, I forget whose person she is, but I voted for her because I thought she was cool in Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Is why I thought of that on my team. Yeah, you should be able to. I guess they wouldn't let you put the main characters in there, but they should.
They totally should. They should totally just have those. I can't like Kyria, like the pop stars, just with their fucking like microphone swords, and just have a good time.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great. Or at least like work those songs in there somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. Alternate title theme music. My friends had never heard the Fire Emblem theme with the voice work before, and I got a bunch of on our little chat room as everyone was firing up Fire Emblem Heroes for the first time.
Oh yeah, because it has like the opera type stuff on there.
Yeah, they were just like, "What is happening? It's singing Fire Emblem. This is ridiculous." I'm like, "This, I guess it is. I mean, they've done this for a long time now, but I guess you've just never heard it before."
Oh, I thought it was cool.
Kind of goofy, I guess.
I thought it was nice. I mean, I like the soundtrack on there. I'll say that was cool. And the characters talk when you tap on them, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And they got good voice actors and actresses too.
Yeah, so they went that far. It's just the other. You know, like we were saying, the interaction with the characters and the animation and all that isn't really there.
I haven't read any of this stuff. Like, so it'll let you skip everything when they start talking to you and I just skip it. Is that bad that I'm doing that?
It's probably fine. I have not been. It's not like, you're not really missing much. So here's the story of Fire Emblem Heroes. Are you ready? Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. Cover your ears
there's
for the
an
next
evil
30
kingdom.
seconds.
There's an evil kingdom that summons heroes and makes them fight for it, and then there's a good kingdom that summons heroes and makes them fight for them.
Yep.
There you go. That's the story.
Yeah,
because
because
summon heroes from the different dimensions of like.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah, I remember that part.
Well,
but it's okay. Like the bad empire, when they summon heroes, the heroes are like, "I wish I didn't have to do this, but we have to fight." But when the good people summon them, they're like, "Let's go! I'm excited to be here for no clear reason."
So you're like fighting a hero from another game, but he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
well,
that's what I was...
he's like, "I'm sorry, but I have to fight you. I am bound by contract."
Yeah.
I got summoned here by that dude.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was saying earlier was bothering me because, when I met like Marth and he's like, "Oh, I'm under contract. I have to fight for this guy, but I can't go over there with my character and talk to him and convince him to join my side, like how you would."
Or
in
remark
the other...
on the fact that I just gutted him with another Marth.
Yeah. I mean, but you should at least be able to talk to him and recruit him, like you would normally do in a Fire Emblem game. I was like,
totally.
But yeah, it's weird. You're fighting the good guys and they're fighting you because they're under contract, but they don't care that you or that their characters or you're any character that was related to them from another game or whatever. They don't interact in that way. So
because really it doesn't matter because there's not really a story.
There's not really a story. And isn't the kingdom called like Askr or something like that? Or Ars? Yeah, it's ASKR, right?
Yep.
Yeah, weird name. Askr. But yeah, I mean it's fun for what it is. It's a good distraction. It's free, and as far as I've gone with it, I haven't paid anything, and I'm not really planning on paying anything for it. So maybe I'll play it a little bit more. Super Mario Run was kind of fun for for a couple weeks, and then I kind of stopped playing it. But I don't know. I really don't play stuff on my phone at all. So it's kind of like, will I do it? Like the only time I would do it is like if I'm at work and I don't have anything else to do, and then I'll mess around on my phone. But I don't really play it at home because I have a 3DS and I'd rather play that than the phone. So for me, I guess, but these games aren't really for me, I guess, or for us. It's more for people who don't play Nintendo games, and they're like, oh, here, people who play phone games, they're like, here, try this game. So hopefully it does well. I don't know.
But yeah, just like Pokemon Go sold, copies of Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Because people got reinterested. Maybe that's going to happen with Fire Emblem.
Well, Pokemon Go was like a phenomenon, which was another game I barely played, but a lot of people did.
People barely play it anymore.
Did you get into that, Colin? Into the Pokemon craze? Pokemon Go craze?
I got really angry at Pokemon Go. We don't have to go there. I don't like Pokemon Go.
We don't have to Pokemon Go there? Yeah.
It's playing it in a fairly a not very well populated area is already not a great experience. And then I spent on Christmas Eve, I spent an hour and a half walking around because it said there was a Pikachu with a Santa hat nearby, and I never found it. Fuck that game.
Yeah, see, I never really got it. I never really got into it that much, but I understood. I had friends in Chicago who played it, who would take the train and walk around the city anyway. That was part of their day. They had to walk so far to go to work every day. So I understood that they'd have more fun with it, because they could find Pokemon in all different places and make your commute more fun, I guess. But I don't really walk around anywhere. So for me, it was I like to play games sitting down. So I'm not going to go walk outside to try to find a Squirtle or something. I mean, I never saw a Squirtle.
I walk about 2 hours a day. Yeah. I'm just not walking through the city, so there's nothing there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for this, it was I can maybe go down the street and maybe catch a Rattata, or I can just stay here and not play this game. But I tried it a little bit. At work, but yeah, it never really hooked me at all. So
I still see people playing it, because I work at a restaurant, so I'll see people sitting at their table playing it. So some people are still playing it, but I haven't played it 6 months at least, probably.
Yeah. When was the last time you played Miitomo? Are you still not playing that game?
I fire up Miitomo once or twice a month, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You should go in a museum.
What do you mean, that I'm still playing it?
Yeah.
I
immediately delete that thing.
Oh, I just wanted to see,
you gotta get the points, though.
New wallpapers.
So you can still get I left it on there because I thought, if I need to get a bunch of platinum coins, I could just go do that real quick. So you
can grind up platinum coins in Miitomo. That's why I hold on to it.
Yeah, that's why I held on to it too.
Let me ask you two a question. As a person who bailed out of Miitomo when, one, I realized I wasn't having any fun, and two, I saw the question sort of sliding into like consumer survey territory. How far down that hole did they go? Like, if you go in now, is the first question, like the question of the day, like, what is your favorite menu item at Arby's? How far did they go?
It's like, what's the most refreshing part of Cool Ranch Doritos? It's like, is it the flavor? Is it the color of the package? Is it the smell?
Is it the cool or the ranch? Tell us. One or the other.
Which of these laundry detergent brands have you heard of?
Yeah, I didn't notice it going like super consumer, I guess, but I didn't play it enough.
It still asks me to review it all the time, which
yeah.
I say no to, but that's about the most I can do.
Yeah, because I downloaded Fire Emblem and it was like, it's like, this will only be 60 megabytes. And it's like, oh no, we have this 400 megabyte update now. And it's like, oh, my phone's out of storage, and I'm like looking through my shit, and I'm like, wow, I still have like 600 megs like on this fucking Miitomo app that I don't play ever. And I thought for a second about getting it. And I also downloaded Pokemon Duel for a second. Didn't really play it though, but that was like another like 500 megabytes of memory. So I'm like, but yeah, Miitomo was holding on to it just to get the extra Nintendo coins.
Yeah, I just go back once in a while. I don't know. Maybe I should have deleted it by now, but I can't let go of it because I didn't put a lot of time into it. But I haven't fired up Go, in several months. Man, there's several Nintendo apps now.
Yeah, it's the world we live in now.
It's crazy.
I hop on Mario Maker once in a while, but I haven't used the bookmark app. Or I guess it's not even an app, it's just a website.
Yeah. You could play it with your, can you play it with the 3DS one, sort of? With the Mario Maker 3DS? The bookmark thing?
Tried.
I don't know if you can. I think you can in a limited way, like most of that game. The limited way.
You hear that the Animal Crossing mobile got delayed?
It did, yeah, I did hear that. That's something we forgot to say in the news, but they've delayed that. Oh, well, aren't they saying the game may not come out till later in the year, right?
Yeah, they said next fiscal year.
Yeah, next fiscal year.
So April or later.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's not.
Well, it makes sense. They don't want to compete with the Fire Emblem app.
Yeah, I'm interested
They're
to see.
I'm
interested to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about that whole thing. Like, I am enjoying Fire Emblem Heroes decently, but at the same time, it makes me really worried for what this Animal Crossing game will be.
It's kind of like these Fire Emblem or these mobile games are like the Tiger Electronics, like the Tiger handhelds of real games.
Yeah, right.
Right. But how do you
super
water
cheapened down and mainstreamed and
But it's not
how
like
do
you can
water
see...
Animal Crossing down even more? What does that become?
I don't know.
You don't actually interact at all. You just watch them like.
You just watch them talk to each other.
That'd actually be great.
And then you just move the houses around whenever you feel like it.
Well, that's kind of how Happy Home Designer was, right? Where it's like, let's take out the whole talking to people. We'll just make it to where you just rearrange furniture.
It's just going to be an application that takes over your text message client and then tags on special verbal ticks at the end. Every text message you send will end with Hawkeye or How Now.
Yeah, and you can change it, and you can make it say whatever. Yeah, you could be like, yeah, and I did this, Book Snack. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the Fire Emblem Heroes while we're at it? I was gonna.
Well, Colin saying that about the delayed Animal Crossing also reminded me of another thing I read, which was that Project Giant Robot is officially canceled.
Yeah, that's another thing I forgot to write down. Yeah, no Project Robot. I'm sure it'll show up in some form, maybe with Joy-Cons or something later. I don't know.
What on earth is that?
The Project Giant Robot?
It's like an old tech demo / I don't know, it's a game they just showed forever ago.
Yeah, it was a robot.
And they kept saying that it was still a thing.
What was the one? Well, part of that was what became Star Fox Guard later.
Yeah.
That was that whole thing. That's
that was another demo, but the robot one was shown at the same time, I guess. And it's been on a list of upcoming releases forever. And everybody's like, "What's going to happen with this?" And I guess they just said that they're not going to do it anymore, or it'll show up in some way in a different game. Like everything gets recycled for Nintendo in some way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Maybe Miitomo will be recycled, or not Miitomo. I mean Miitomo also, but Miiverse. Maybe they've got a new thing that's going to be like Miiverse.
Yeah.
Maybe the next Mario and Luigi RPG will have a Miiverse joke in it.
It should.
Sure. Well.
Oh, right. Yeah, because there's normally jokes about everything in there. Is there anything else you guys want to say about the mobile app or about Nintendo news for this episode?
Nothing comes to mind.
Oh, okay. Do you want to plug your stuff? What are you up to? Like, what have you been doing, Colin?
Sure. I've been up to too much. I am on 3 podcasts these days. I am on my normal one for Scanline Media, which you can find any of this if you want to check out my shit. You can go to scanlinemedia.com. I have a podcast that we do sort of off and on, just general game stuff when something happens. I have a Dota 2 podcast called Bottle Crow, and I recently started up a fighting game podcast called The Neutral Game, which I hear all the people out there who hear that it's a fighting game podcast and I don't play fighting games. That is the point. It is for you. Let's get you into fighting games. Let's help you understand why they are good and how you can enjoy them the way the hardcore people do.
Oh, that's cool.
That's my
cool,
pitch.
man.
Yeah. What have you guys been?
There, but
what have you guys been talking about on there lately? I'm trying to think of like
so
what
we did we're doing it monthly because we don't want to overstay our welcome. That one's
sure,
because you do it too frequently with a fighting game podcast, and it's inevitably going to go into way too hardcore stuff. But like our first episode came out 2 days ago actually, and it's just sort of talking about like how to learn a fighting game and like finding a group to play with and sort of what sort of games are good to start out with. It's very user friendly. We make sure we don't use too much jargon. It should be pretty easy to get into. So
cool. I was trying to think of what is the last fighting game that I know of that came out? I mean, I don't know of any newer stuff. I mean, the last thing I got was Street Fighter V, but I haven't really I've yet to really get into that because it's designed weirdly. But
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I recently got a Guilty Gear game on Steam as part of like a bundle, but I haven't really played much of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can use a controller.
I'm way into all the crazy weird ones. So.
No, I was just curious. I mean, I like fighting games. I don't think I'm very good at them, but I like playing them.
We would get along great. I'm not good either.
I find them interesting. I mean, I don't know. I like the characters, and I don't know. Like I played like Guilty Gear, and I played like Blaze Blue, and I've dabbled in a lot of them.
If you play Blaze Blue, then we should definitely. I love Blaze Blue.
Yeah, I mean, I played a little bit, but yeah, no, that sounds cool for sure.
Yeah. And also you can find me on Twitter at 6264, written out as words.
Oh, okay. At 6264.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, everybody make sure and check all that stuff out. We have a website too, NintenDomain Podcast. We talk about it every episode. You should know about it by now. At Nintendo_domain is our Twitter. Facebook /NintenDomain. YouTube /FingMater is our YouTube stuff. And yeah, we hopefully we'll have some more Switch stuff coming in the future. Like I said, we have that event that we're going to in a couple weeks, so that'll be interesting. So we'll definitely report on that. But until then, thanks for coming on the show, Colin.
Thanks so much for having me.
Nice to have have another Fire Emblem show. I should have checked the date.
Yeah, we know
the date of the last one. It's like our yearly Fire Emblem podcast, our yearly Fire Emblem episode. So yeah,
every February.
Thanks for risking your hands and possibly getting cut and all that to you for the love of the show. I appreciate that.
We appreciate that, man.
Yeah, putting your skin on the line.
Yeah. Anything for journalism.
That's true journalism right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll see you next time then. I'm Trey Johnson.
Jeremy Kowski and
Colin Dettmar.
And we'll see you next week.
See you soon.
Peace.
今日は少し背伸びしておしゃれしたの気づいてるお気に入りのワンピースでいい